I vividly remember the phone call. It was January 28th. It was the Wednesday. It was a week before signing date exactly. And he said, hey, are you still planning to go to Clarkson tonight to see me wrestle? And I said, yeah, absolutely I am. He's like, well, there's been a problem. Well, he's kind of a tough guy. If he maybe got in a scrap at school or something. He goes, yeah, I had to go to the doctor. They think I have cancer. Caught me off guard. That was the last thing, you know, that I expected to hear.
It was pretty devastating when they came in and the doctor said we never like telling people this. The first thing that came to mind was, what am I going to do with my football scholarship? What's going to happen with that?
Anybody at any age getting news like that, you automatically worry about your future and your health and your well-being. But Jace's first thought was, what's going to happen to my scholarship? What's going to happen to my future in football? Because that was a dream and a goal of his.
But I thought you said the back had 0 to play side, so 0 to rows.
0 to backside.
0 to backside, okay.
Yeah, get that out of your mind, probably.
Yeah, okay, so I probably should just redo that shit.
Well, you know, I mean, Jace started playing sports at an early age, started off with soccer. You know, he's always been Mr. Aggressive.
I had 3 sacks my very first high school football game.
Jace was a high school football player in Spokane, Washington. Went to West Valley High School there. You know, really just a monster on both sides of the ball.
He'd be walking down the hallways, we'd see him, he'd be in cowboy boots and shorts, and a cut-off flannel shirt. Hey, nobody's gonna mess with him.
He went and visited Idaho and the summer before his senior year and realized, hey, you know, hour and a half away from home, good coaching staff with a lot of connections. This could be the place for me.
He liked us when we weren't very pretty, okay? That meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to our staff.
We got him to call us on his way home, actually, and offered him a scholarship.
Yeah, when Jace first started feeling pain, you know, in his hip, his leg, we weren't sure exactly what it was.
I always just kind of thought it was a little pulled muscle, and I just played through it and wrapped it up as tight as I could.
He usually works through most of it, but when this pain wasn't going away, you know, it was kind of like, okay, you know, we've got to go see what's going on with him.
Got to go get an MRI. The doctor said, you have a pretty big tumor that's pretty cancerous, and it needs to be taken care of right away.
You know, he was supposed to be signing with Idaho a week later. You know, that and just, you know, his life kind of just flashes before your eyes a little bit. He took 5 or 10 minutes, bowed his head, he took the information, and then after he lifted his head after that process, well, what do we do now?
I was scared not being able to go to college, and having football, that was such a big part of my life at the time, be completely gone, and that was the biggest scare for me. That was the first thing that came to mind.
And I told him, because I know Coach Petrino as well as anybody, his scholarship was good.
And Coach Sink called me, and I said, well, I'll get him on the phone right now. And I just called him and said, hey, Jace, you've already been a part of this family for a long time. All you need to worry about is taking care of yourself.
It was complete relief that I was still going to have a future with football.
That guard has to play against this defense with a tighter split. That guard can have.
The family still really, you know, were crossing their fingers that eventually he'd play college football. But late in the summer, Jace and his family went back for one more scan, and they realized, you know, we have not been as effective with the chemotherapy as we had hoped. Unfortunately, the best option for them medically was to amputate his right leg from the hip down.
Say, we're not eating it. It's okay. It's a draw. I'm going to draw send him. What I kept telling him in that phone call was, I go, hey man, I go, that's not what you expected, it's not what we expected, but we still have you. We still have Jace Malek and the man and the spirit and the toughness, and the loss of a limb is not going to take that away.
Yeah, is he committed or is he?
No matter what, you want Jace around. I mean, he's going to be special, and he wants to be a coach. You know, that's one of the things that he wants to be. All right, man. See you tomorrow.
Yep, thanks, Coach. My initial reaction was I want to coach if I can. I want to be a part of the football team as much as I can, and I always knew I kind of wanted to be a coach, and I was always going to have the right mindset that I get along with people well, and I can be motivational. Being as independent as I was, it's hard to depend on everybody else to do stuff for me.
You know, he usually starts out practice on his crutches, and then he gets a little tireder as it goes on, and then he gets into his wheelchair. But his guys run out, they all give him the fist bump. All right, eyes up, sit up. Sit. Let's throw the first punch, and let's not quit. No surrender. No surrender. Everybody say that with me. 1, 2, 3.
No surrender.
Say it louder.
No surrender.
Stand up, tell me why you're not going to surrender. Somebody, go.
My teammates.
I just want to say I'm not going to take a break tomorrow, and I know you guys won't either.
Jace, why would you not surrender?
I have a lot of knowledge of people who have it worse than we do, and there's a lot of people out there who are looking up to this team and us, and they have it a lot worse than we do, and we need to win for them and for the people supporting us.
Well said. Let's get a break. Get a break. Get a break. Get a break.
So leaving Idaho and leaving Jace after having met him and his family, we knew that there was still a tough road ahead. But a couple of weeks after we got back from the trip, Jace's mom, Anna Ackerman, gave me a call on my cell phone and just said, we just got our latest scan back, and unfortunately the cancer in his lungs had more than doubled in the amount that was in there. Because it hadn't stopped the spread, because the chemotherapy hadn't been as effective as they hoped, at this juncture, doctors were giving Jace 3 to 5 months to live. Doctors told him that he doesn't need to do any more chemotherapy. His mother said that Jace just basically bowed his head and said, this is the truth and this is the fact, and we're accepting this, and we're still going to live out the rest of our days to the best we possibly can. Doctors did fit him with a prosthetic leg, so he is able to walk around more so, and that was something that really, I think, was a big part of his goal going forward. Jace and his longtime girlfriend Libby got married in late October. He's not letting cancer determine how his final days are going to be lived. He's living exactly how he would have before he learned that news. And that's why he's still around the program now. That's why he's still in the coaching offices and still traveling with the team during this college football season. And I think he wants to be an example for anybody to look at this and say, hey, here's somebody who's gone through unimaginable tragedy, and he's still able to go out and live his dream.
It's the best part about being Jace is being a part of this team and having the people around you that I have.
The football element is what keeps him going. That is his motivator.
Put all your effort into something you care about, and it's going to help you get through the harder times of your life.